Make sure I don't drop my little washer.
Made in Germany. Kit said at the black line. It also comes with other seals. One here, and you've got one there, and you've got one on the bottom. Easy as that. Here's all my oil, air filter, oil filter, and you get a nice smooth pour.
Save the money and do it yourself, guys. Garages that rip you off. I'm sick of it, and that's why I do this channel.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.
Servicing your Mercedes SL in the street edition. So what I'm actually doing is, the street here is on a slight slope, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. But first of all, I've got to get underneath the car. Now, I've actually lowered my car by 25 mil, so she sits just a little bit lower than the standard. So I use these little bits of wood and get those to the wheel so that I don't end up hitting my lovely little lip that I put on. If you're interested, there is a video below on how I did that, but it's just enough for me to get the wheel onto the ramp. So, first job, you've got to get the car off the ground so that you can get the under cover taken away. Okay, good. Let's get the handbrake on, importantly. Right, let's get the cover off.
It's a bit oily down here. Yes, it's a bit oily down here, I know. But the car's got 180,000 miles, so, you know, give her a little bit of a respect. There's the sump plug there. They obviously didn't size as a cars like the SL55. You're actually going to have two sump plugs. But on the 350, you've just got the one. And it's just here. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was going to use the angle of the street to my advantage. Well, the reason I'm using it to my advantage is that even though I've jacked this up, the level of the car, because it's pointing downhill slightly, isn't actually far off the horizontal, which means I'm going to be able to drain the oil out the sump and get pretty much every last little bit out of it. If I jack this up on a level ground, then the sump is going to have some of that oil actually slightly higher up because it would be flat and you're jacking up the front. So that's what I mean by using the level of the street going down to my advantage. Last week I actually changed a Honda Civic oil, and that was only what, 3.8 litres of oil. This thing is 8.7 litres, which means that the pan that I've got here, just looking at it, only goes up to 6 litres. So I need to get creative and find something else for the last 2.7 litres or 3 litres of oil. I've got a little plastic bin here, but it's not going to go under. So what I'm going to do, drain the oil, have the sump plug at hand, pop it back in again, drain that, put that back underneath the car. That's the plan anyway. Okay, there's a 13mm socket, nice. Let's crack this open. Make sure you've got everything at hand, obviously. I've got my oil pan here, I've got a cloth, importantly, and you're pretty much good to go. Give it a nice little hit. Like that, lovely, and nip it back up again. Right, she's loose, all right. Now, remember that the oil is going to go that way. So give yourself a nice little bit of distance away. And try not to drop the sump plug in your dish. See, once you undo it, I usually put a bit of pressure as I'm turning it just to keep the oil in there. And then when you feel that you got to the bottom thread, you give it a nice little quick, swift pull away. Just like that. What I don't see, have I just dropped the little, whoa, the wind's just caught that, oh no! Bloody wind. I think somewhere in there I've just dropped my little copper crush nut. I'll have to dig that out. You should actually replace the little copper nut. So I'm going to stay around because, as I said, I've only got enough volume in this for 6 litres. And I need to drain all of the oil, which is 8.7. So I reckon I've got about 5 litres in there now. I must admit, the oil looks okay. It's well past an oil change, that's for sure. And as you start to get less oil, I like to bring the pan slightly towards me. Right, I'm going to put the plug back in again without trying to make a mess. Get my little rag at hand. Don't drop it in there, don't drop it in there. Right, good. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to move this pan out of the way, drain it, put it back underneath. Right, let's get my little bucket. This is the bin from my garden office, so I'll have to buy a new one. Hope the wife doesn't mind. Well, I'm just taking my time because on the bottom of it, somewhere is my little crush washer. I may need to use it again. You should really replace it, but I don't know if I've got a spare one. I'll have to have a look in the garage. There it is, I've just seen the washer. That's good. There's my little washer. I might need to use it again. I've had this oil pan for years. In fact, it was my late father-in-law's oil pan. Bless him. Good. There's my little crush washer. I might just heat that up. Right, let's get the last couple of litres of oil out of this thing. To be fair, I probably drained about 7 litres out of that, so I probably just have a litre there. I'm going to leave that to just drip down. Oh, I tell you what a lovely day. What a difference it is working when the weather's warm. Oh my God, look at that. That's the double-decker Emirates there. Have a look at this. What a beast that is. You know, I had a quick look to see how much it would cost at a local garage, a chain in the UK. It's called Quick Fit. They're all right. I think they tend to find more faults than there actually are needing to be changed on your car. I say that boldly, but yeah, they wanted £190 to change the oil on this Mercedes SL. It needs 8.7 litres of oil, and I bought the oil, which is 4 litre and a 5 litre. I bought an oil filter for about £5, man oil filter, and I bought an air filter as well, which is something more than the Quick Fit garage was going to do. And I bought the whole lot for £60. 60 quid. So basically I've saved £130, which ironically is what I saved when I just did my Honda Civic last week, even though that used less oil, but it was a cheaper car to service. So, you know, that's the whole point to do this channel, is save yourself some money and time and do it yourself. That's the other thing, that quite often you try and book your car in for a service these days, all the garages are full. You can see it's not that difficult. Just have a bit of confidence in what you're doing, and you can save yourself 130 quid. And then go and treat the missus. Take her out for dinner or something. You'll be in their best books. Right, let's get this sump plug back on again. What I'm now going to do is what I always do, is I'm going to pour some clean oil down the top and then drain out that oil so that I get the last residual bit. That way I know that I've got pretty much all of the oil out of it rather than just chucking in new oil. So sump plug back on again. So what I'm going to do now is just pour some clean oil in there, go back underneath, undo the sump, drain out the litre or so that I put in here, and then I can put the clean oil in, change the oil filter. Pretty much that's it done. It's not difficult, and hopefully this video is going to save you a bit of money and time as well. Here's all my oil, air filter, oil filter, and some spare oil just to pop in here to flush through the last residual bit of the used oil. Little tip, when you're pouring, I hear people saying, oh, take off all this in case you spill it. No, just be careful. When you pour the oil, always make sure that where you don't pour like that, you pour it at the highest point of 45 degrees, and it stops all the air and the glug coming out. Watch. And you get a nice smooth pour. To be fair, I didn't have a full bottle in there, I only had about half, but principle's the same. Right, let's go back down underside and drain the oil, and you should see they'll be slightly cleaner now because as that trickles through. Make sure I don't drop my little washer. There, you can see straight away, look, I can see through the oil. You can see my glove through the other side. So I know that I've got the clean oil now, which is pushing out that residual oil. And this time I also managed to keep my crush washer. So really, you're kind of done underneath the car now. I'm going to put my sump plug back on, make sure you've got your crush washer. I'm going to put the undercovers back on again. And now everything I do, I can work from the top of the engine. That includes the oil filter, the air filter, and obviously putting new oil in. And we are done. You can do this job in less than half an hour. But like anything, you tend to think to yourself, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, and what if I make a mistake? There's not really much to it. It's not rocket science. And you can go to a garage and they'll charge you at least an hour, maybe 2 hours of labor, plus they're going to make money on the parts. Save the money and do it yourself, guys. You know, there's more to life than wasting money at garages that rip you off. I'm sick of it, and that's why I do this channel. And changing the oil on these cars is key. This is 180,000 miles on this car. And I'm telling you this, and I know this from an automotive specialist because I work in engineering, you're far better to change the oil regularly on a car than spending all the money on the best quality race performance oil, I promise you. Because you're never going to make the benefit of having the top grade end oils that you have to only really get that benefit when you race the engine. If you're driving every single day, you're far better getting the right oil for your car, just getting some decent quality oil, but changing it regularly, maybe twice a year. And the car will thank you for it, it really will. Right, let's get the sump plug back in again. Now that that's all through, and I know I've got my lovely clean oil, which was running through there. So the last little bit of sludge at the bottom and any nasties is hopefully then being pushed out. Right, so I can nip that up. Let's move this oil pan out of the way. So 30 Newton meters I'm going to go for. There you go. All done. Right, that's all in. Let's put the covers back on. Right, let's go and put some oil in the car. Right, so oil filter now. Let's get that changed. 25 Newton meters for this. Wouldn't it be amazing if I could undo it? I've never been able to do it by hand, but let's give it a go. No, gonna get my special tool. So I get a real buzz and helping people out, and that's the whole reason I do this channel. And if you want to show your appreciation, and if I've helped you in any way today, I've got a Groove On wish list on Amazon. You might want to buy me an air freshener or maybe a set of spanners or something, and it will get sent to me. It's like Christmas comes early for me, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. Also, I've got a Groove On merch shop. Hoodies, different styles of t-shirts, bags, hats, coffee cups, drinking mugs, loads of stuff on there. The link is just below if you want to go buy some merchandise. So I've got two tools to remove the old oil filter. Mercedes always do this, right? They make it so easy for you to get to the oil filter. On that little Honda Civic I just done last week, it's right the way underneath and you can't get any purchase on it. I had to end up tapping it off with the bar. So anyway, Mercedes, nice and easy. You can just use one of these which then clamps onto it. If you turn it, it then just locks like so, and away you go and undo it. Or you got these which are pretty good. If you're a bit limited on space because you can't get that in there, you can use one of these, and all it is just a piece of fabric and it just wraps itself around, and as you tighten, the more you start to undo it, then the more it grabs your oil filter. I'll show you. So here, as you wrap it around the filter there and just basically start to now tighten that, it's going to grab it and turn it around. So why don't we use that one, hey? Why not? I'm going to just pop the old cap back. I hate the thought of dropping something in there. That's just the OCD in me. So then once you've got it nice and tight, just use your ratchet. There she goes. Nice little tool that. It's nice because it also stops you marking the lid. So this goes back on 25 Newton meters, actually says it right on the top of it, which is nice. Get the little tray ready because there's going to be a bit of oil come out of this. So unlike your standard sort of normal metal oil filters, this particular Mercedes uses like a cartridge type. And it comes with the O-rings as well. There's an O-ring on the top there, which should be part of the kit. So I'm going to slide that off. I just dropped it in there now. There's my nice new one. And then in here, here's your O-rings and everything as well. Also, it's important there because it shows on this little illustration here that when you put it on, you twist it slightly as you're rotating it on there, and there's these little lines. See those two black lines there? And you push it so that the top line goes to the top of the cap. You shouldn't be able to see the two lines. Oh man, somebody having a barbecue. It smells amazing. So this then just slides off. There's the old dirty filter. Might as well leave that in there. I'll get rid of that. In here, there's an O-ring. You can just whip that off. That's the old O-ring there. Right, let's get this dirty oil out of the way. I want to drop that into my nice engine. Let's get the old one out of the way. I don't want to use that again. Let's get the new one on. I've got enough oil on my glove here, so that's good. There's my new seal. There's a little wider groove. It doesn't sit right on the lip there. It actually sits slightly in, if you're wondering. Just like that. Nice. Right, so that's that on. Just making sure there's nothing saying point upwards. Made in Germany. And then you sort of twist it on. And we want to make it so that the black line, the second one, you can't see it.
There you go. So I've just got the one line there now, and that's what it says there in the picture. It also comes with other seals here as well, and they go on the bottom. One here, and you've got one there, and you've got one on the bottom. So let's get those changed. This one's actually brittle. It feels like plastic, but it's actually the rubber, and that's what happens with rubber over time. It actually, oh, I just dropped it, but actually split. The rubber's completely split. So it's a good job I'm changing this. So let's get another one on here. Comes with all the different seals. Lovely. And there's two others. There's slightly smaller one, and then there's one really small one at the end. Look, that one just split as well. That's how brittle these things are. Look at that. That should be nice and soft. Lastly, just get this end one here as well. I'll split as well. There. I bet most people don't bother changing those seals. There we go. 4 new rubber seals, new filter. Let's get it on, as Marvin Gaye said. Okay, 25 Newton meters back on again. Right, let's set my little torque wrench to 25 Newton meters. Yeah, 25 Newton meters. I'm going to use the other tool because it is a little bit easier when you're doing torques. There you go, 25 Newton meters done. Right, that's the oil filter and the O-rings all changed. Finally, let's get some oil in the car. Now you can get a funnel if you want to, or you can just go for it and try not to make a mess by pouring it like follows. So I've gone for 5W40. I've got a lot of miles on the car, different engines, obviously different oils, but this one is spec for this car and I'm happy with that. I've been using it for quite a few years. Fully synthetic, so keep the opening nice and high and you can get it nice and low and you won't make a mess. Beautiful. Also helps when the wind's not blowing. Alright, that's one. And what you can do is pour the dirty oil back into these, take it down your local recycling centre. Alright, let's get the other one. Oof. Easy as that. So actually this is 2 4 litres. I could do with another 0.7 litres now, but I'll see how it goes and I'll check the engine level. Good, good. Another empty container. Put the old oil back in. There we go, lovely. Right, let's get the cap back on again. That, in all sense and purposes, is your oil changed. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my air filter in. Oh, the car is just going to be so much better. to give you an idea what the air filter looks like. Do you know what I've done? I've only ordered one, haven't I? What an idiot. Right, anyway, I'm going to change one air filter, but you get the idea. I'll maybe hoover the other one out. Oh, what an idiot. Right, okay, so let's undo these screws here. Can't believe I've done that. Luckily, there's this little online shop. You may have heard of it. It's called Amazon, and I'll get one tomorrow and I'll change it. It's too easy these days, too easy. Not bad. Look how clean that is. Not bad at all. Look at this. Look how good I am. The 14th of the 4th, 2021. I wrote on the last time I changed it. Over 4 years ago. Oops. That's the dirty side. Not bad, not bad. Right, I'll get a new one tomorrow. I'll change it. Not bad. Get the new one in. Easy as that. Right, I'm going to get a pen and put the date on it. Today's dates. Right, well I can't do the other one because I've only got the one. So that's a job for tomorrow. But otherwise, we are done. This looks pretty clean on my engine. Beautiful. Make sure you get that nice and sealed at the back. Just check that seal at the back there, that you've got that on. Shoes back on again. So there you go. There is a full service oil filter, air filter, well, kind of nearly all the air filter. New oil. I've even changed the seals on the oil filter. It's not that hard. Give it a go yourself and save yourself £130. If this is your sort of thing, there is a whole myriad of videos that I've done for Mercedes SLs, a playlist at the end for you. And if this has helped you today and you want to show some love, I've got an Amazon wish list. Basically, it's a little list to put together. You might want to buy me an air freshener, a set of screwdrivers or something, and it will get sent to me. And it's just your way of saying thank you. So have a look at that too. Right, I'll see you on the next one.